Assalamu alaikum. Suleiman Rahim here. Welcome to Critical Analytics. Brothers and sisters, this out to be online interactive site. We're planning. We should have it up and going pretty soon, but right now we're just going to talk about a few things. Soon we'll be able to have interactive, you're online, live, and you can ask questions, make comments in real time. What we want to talk about right now is we're talking about what we're confronted with. So right now, critical analytics, what's going on right now. That's what this site is all about. Primarily, it's about current events. Primarily. But we will talk about other things. One of the things we'll talk about, besides current events, is where current events are leading to. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because we're preparing you for what's about to happen. We're told there'll be a time of unprecedented trouble. Do you know what that time is going to be? You have any idea? You know what it's going to be like? I mean, we're told about that in all the three major religions. Even in Hinduism, they talk about this time. Not sure about Buddhism, but I know they talk about in Hinduism. There's great calamity. But do you know when it's going to be, who the characters are, how it's going to take place? It said they would deceive the whole world. No one's talked about these things. But you need to be prepared for it. And that's what we're here to prepare you for it. And explain to you what it's like, what it's about, why it is. That's what we're here to explain to you, brothers and sisters. So we're going to take a little time to do that. Normally we try to keep these to like a half an hour to hour at the most. So we're going to try to do that today also. But we call it the beacon. Because where's a beacon? See, those are lights that guides the ships at night so they don't, bang into the shore, climb to the shore, crash into the shore. So they crash to the shore. So it beacons, because in the night you can't see. The ship needs to know where land is, so don't crash on shore, crash into something else. That's what beacons are. And that's what we're going to need. See, that's my job. Messenger of the covenant. Make as many messengers of covenants as I can. Produce as many as I can. Many beacons. Because our people are scattered all over this country. And they need to know what's about to happen and why. And they need to know what to do. Because when it happens, it says it's going to be a time of intense darkness. So how will you know what to do? We have many false lights running around here. That's what it says. Suleiman's first task was to get rid of demons. See, those are false lights. Because in time of unprecedented trouble, you need to be able to rely on the light. You need to rely on that flashlight that you have works. If it's flickering, you got to get something to make sure it works. Because you need to be able to see. That's what we're going to talk about. Critical analytics. Back up. Oh, it keeps on back up. Okay. Back up. There we go. Brothers and sisters, you have been greatly deceived. Deception, it says, you see the whole world. You've been greatly deceived. You've been robbed. Robbed of everything. We have nothing. And we don't even have a vision. We're given a false vision. A false vision. Your betrayal is complete. We're betrayed by everyone. See? Even those that look like you, walk like you, talk like you. They're not you, they're demons. Betrayed by everyone. And the focus is on you, but you don't realize it. Because you don't know who you are. That's why it says you will not return. You have a thorough knowledge of yourself. And you don't know who you are. In fact, you don't think that you're anything. You don't think you're anything. They told you, they ripped everything from you, and now that you have come out of what you think is slavery, you're still in the plantation. You don't know who you are. You're nothing. You look at scriptures, who are you? Even when you was in the fields, you thought that you was the children of Israel, because you say those songs, go down Moses, want to be free, but you don't have that anymore. They took that away from you. Took your vision, everything. It says a nation without a vision fails, perishes. They're taking everything from you, everything. And not only that, they're taking your desire to learn who you are. Because you resist anyone trying to tell you. That's why it calls dead. Because dead people, they dead. I mean, they have no will, no ideas, nothing. See? They have nothing. No ambition, anything. And you don't. You totally rely on master. You still rely on master 100%. You still rely on master 100%. Because you've been trained to rely on master. You rely on master 100%. You do nothing for yourself. Everything has to be at master's will, right? Under master's guidance, right? With master's certification, with master's approval. And that's a fact, and you know it. See? You run the master hoping that he'll be nice to you. So-called Democratic Party, you think you could vote, right? And they're gonna, they have control of this. You think you're gonna vote them out of power? Think they will allow that to happen? But you believe that. They're selling to you. Anyone like me to come tell you the truth? Elijah Muhammad came to tell you the truth. Master Prophet Muhammad came to tell you the truth. Even Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, you rejected all of that, all of it. See? And all these people came to rid you of your captor, rid you of this condition. And that's how bad we are. Anyway, you're going to be rid of it pretty soon. You're going to be rid of it. You have no choice. See? Because time is moving on. See? It's not there's prophecy there, but prophecy is only what they saw us doing and they wrote it down. It's not that they wrote it down and we have to conform to it. No. And the prophecy tells us what we're going to do and what they're going to do and what's the cause and effect. See, action and reaction is going to be. And we're told in every scripture that their plan is annihilation, our destruction. That's what it is. But you don't understand that. But you're going to understand it in a very horrific way. And that's my job, to try to save as many of you as possible, to put beacons all over the place, because when that time comes, it's going to be very intensely dark. Intensely dark. As the Quran tells you and the Bible tells you, it's going to be intensely dark, a time of unprecedented trouble. So let's get into it, brothers and sisters. See if we can help you to understand the beacons. Now, what is a beacon? Again, beacons, right? They're not going ashore, or they may be in an island someplace anyway. They're the place where they put a light in darkness. It's dark, so the ships don't collide or run ashore, right? Or crash to the shore. So that means it's something that you need to keep you from crashing is intense darkness. In intense darkness, you're going to need to know where to go because you're going to be under fire like you never said, like you ever conceived of. You're going to be under intense fire. So we're going to see if we can explain that, get you to understand it. We know that you're not going to understand it until the abomination of desolation, which you have no idea what that means. I put information out there to try to explain to you what it means, but I know you have no idea what it means. But you should know because that is the one event that if you don't know what it is, you're doomed. Because it says when you see it, that means you have to recognize it to see it, right? You have to recognize it. Run. Don't hesitate. Don't go back to get your baby. Don't get your mama. Don't text anybody. Don't wipe your behind. Don't do anything. Just run. But they try to give you the urgency of the situation. Now, why is it going to be like that? What is so special about this abomination of desolation? Because it said this is going to initiate the time of trouble. Time of trouble, of unprecedented trouble. But it said Jacob will be delivered out of it. So you need to know who these things are. Who is Jacob? See? Because if you're not Jacob, that means you're not going to be delivered out of it. So that means you're in trouble. And if you don't know what it is, you're in trouble because you have to recognize it. Because if you don't, then you're gonna be lost because there's something gonna happen that you got to get away from fast. You got to get away from it fast. There's something gonna go down when you see that, and it's universal. Cover the whole planet that you got to go get out of fast, and you don't know what that is. But you're talking about you want Jesus' return. It's gonna be time pressing trouble, and hell's gonna break loose. All this stuff in the wrath. But you don't understand. You sell stuff, but you don't recognize what it is. You don't recognize what the event is. You don't understand what 666 is. You people tell you all this stuff, but you don't understand what it is. So how in the hell can you prepare for it? So you say, oh, there's going to be a rapture. There's nothing in the scripture saying about a rapture. Nothing. But even if it was, how you know you're going to be raptured? See? Because there's going to be a rapture. I mean, why do you need to be a rapture if God going to snatch you up? Why waste time? Why not just get rid of the devil? That's what it says, that war of the devil. See, nothing makes any sense there. That's why I'm talking about critical analytics, because we're going to make sense of this. Because you got a couple things here. First, you have to know what the abomination of desolation is. You have to know what that is. If you don't know what it is, you've got a problem. See? Then you got to see, well, if this raptures, I'll be raptured? Say, well, if you're going to do that, why lift you up? Why just cast down the devils? Maybe into that. There's that war. That's two items right there. See? Then it says, will Jacob be delivered out of it? Who is this Jacob that's going to be delivered out of it? See? Because at that time it would be like never before, nothing ever like it. And so we're told that this is going to happen in our lifetimes. And you have no idea what that is? Because what's the event that you have to know that brings all that into focus? The abomination of desolation. Now, we try to tell you what that is here. See, it's the event that's going to cause universal conflict, universal chaos. And what that is, it's going to change the reality of the world. So the world has a certain reality based on right now. Because everybody, including you, the church and everybody else, they got a certain idea how the world is. But you're told they're going to deceive the whole world. So that means, what if that reality is crashed? What if it comes tumbling down? You see, it's just like, you're taking all your money and you've been saving all your life. Now you got $10 million in the bank. There's something that the fires are crash, you feel you have nothing. And that's not supposed to happen. I mean, wow. I mean, how would you deal with that? Now first you're a millionaire, now you're homeless overnight. This will be more dramatic than that because your whole world will be centered around the fact you got this $10 million, right? And you think all the nice things you're going to do and you're going to retire and all these things, right? All of a sudden, that comes crashing down instantly, and then you got a whole new reality you're looking at. And it's not a good one. So it's similar to something like that because your whole reality is about to change. And what's the reality of this world today? Because remember, this is in a religious context. It's a scriptural. So it's a scriptural thing they talked about. It's not economic, it's a scriptural thing. And so what's the scriptural reality of the world today? Scriptural reality today is like, because they give you definitions. They say, well, the people over there that's in Jews over in Palestine, they say, well, that's the seed of Abraham. And that's proof of the return, right? They see Abraham, proof of the return, right? See? And that would make, if that's, because that's the core, that's the thing that drives this reality. You need to understand that because everything else you think about is driven from that reality. Because Jesus supposed to have been one of them, right? So that means Jesus would have been a Jew, right? If they, the true seed of Abraham, right? And that also means that the Arabs over there, right? They're evil people because they're in the way of the Jews, right? Because they're supposed to have all that land. I mean, when they return, they're supposed to have all that land is supposed to be given to them. And that means the Muslims over there and the Arabs, they're preventing the Jews from getting the inheritance that God gave them. That means they're evil and they need to be destroyed. You see how one thing leads to another? That's what's developed. That's how your reality is based on. And that means those who bless Israel will be blessed. Those who curse Israel will be cursed. So that means America is doing everything for that place over there called Israel because they want to be blessed. So that's why America's all in, trying to bless Israel because it says that we're talking all scripture now. You see how these things come into focus when you look at it from that perspective? And that means that we must be Ham, because that's what scriptures say. We was doomed to be cursed, be black, and we was doomed to be slaves, right? To do Europeans forever. That's what it says. So we're here in bondage, and we're wicked and evil, so we deserve to be beaten and put in jail and everything else, right? So that means America's our prison. That means they're good people because they're doing God's will, right? They're enslaved. That's what God said. That's our punishment, right? See, and our destiny, right? Because we're born to be slaves. Our punishment because we're wicked people. That's why we're born over here. You see, so we're nothing. That's the basis of this reality. So wow, because all that's scriptural. That means this reality is scriptural. Your whole reality is scriptural, based on those interpretations, those definitions. Based on those definitions, see. So then you have another side of that, another phase of that, because a lot of Christians are saying that Jesus took and killed that and transferred that covenant over to them. So they're the spiritual seed of Abraham. So if they are, that means the whole world belongs to them. So that means they're taking and conquered countries and taking and genocide. Everything was okay because all this belongs to them. And these people was wicked in their way. It also takes and, right, justifies the fact that they brought us because we probably slaves again. So all these things work together. There's a little conflict there, but they work together because that's the way the world is right now. That's the way they view the world from that perspective. And that's what's happening in the world. Is that a coincidence? And that's the definition they give you. So in other words, we should be happy if they be nice to us, right? Because we don't deserve it. Because we're sinful. So that means they're even extra good now if they treat us nicely because they don't have to, because we're slaves. And we're sinful, so we should be punished. See? And that makes them, right, the God because, right, the Jews would be a special people, and Jesus was supposed to be a Jew, so he was Caucasian, right? And so therefore, they are our master, and then we die. They're going to be our masters when we die. So if we die, we go to heaven, they still be our master. See? Because we still cursed. We was cursed black. That's how we got black. So we was doomed to be, nobody cares about it. I mean, nobody, we take and humiliate all over the planet. That's the reality we're living in. That's the definition. That's the biblical reality. It's a biblical reality. The question is the right reality? Because based on that reality, America's a good place. It's not racist. It's going God's will. They're good people. See? And the Muslims, they're evil people because they stand in the way. They're the terrorists and everything else. They stand in the way of God's other chosen people, right? Getting their inheriting their land that God gave them. Forget about the part. There's no 400 years. He's supposed to 40 years. They're supposed to precede that. Forget about that part. They don't bring that part up. Do you understand, brothers and sisters? That's the reality you're living under. It's a biblical reality, and it drives the way that things work in the world today. So America, the Europeans, they coming down the Muslim, the evil people. They stand in the way of the holy people, God's people, achieving, the promised land. And we have nothing. We over here, slaves, we're going to be slaves forever over here. America can be blessed forever. We're going to be slaves forever over here. We have no hope. If they treat us nice, that's just a blessing because they're nice people. That's the reality we're living under. That's the reality you're living under. That's the reality they teach you in the church. See, because they have to go and get ordained, or whatever they call it, and then the cemeteries, right? What it calls seminaries, cemeteries. Where they have to, I think that's what they call. They go to these Bible school. They have to get certified, whatever they call it, right? Ordained. So they teach them how to look at the scripture, and they come out and tell you that. And so therefore, we're supposed to look at scripture that way, and we look at it from that way. Do you understand? You're nothing. If you look at it from that point of view, and now that's the correct point of view, then we're nothing. If you believe, because it's run by religion. Mathematics is ruling this world, but religion is ruling your mind. Because you're in churches, dance, all that kind of stuff. Religion is ruling your mind. Mathematics is ruling this world, but religion is ruling your mind. In fact, it's controlling your mind. It's a change happening in your mind. Because that's the idea that they're giving you, and you accept it, that you're going to be serving under master forever. When you hear and when you die, you look on the wall, master's on the wall. He's your God when you get to heaven, if you get there. See? So you can't get away, so you got to obey master. And you're teaching the children the same thing. And you're not telling them mathematics and science and logic and reason is their key success. No, you tell them their belief in Jesus' key success, then you can understand why they're not successful. See, why they're not applying logic and reason, why not spend time in the library? They spend all the time in the church, right? Which is doorway to the prison, because that's where they end up at. See? And so you need to understand. See? And we need to get this clear. And that's what these beacons are setting up. See, because when you understand what's going on, If this reality is a true reality, then that's it. But what if this reality crashes? What if it crashes? Because where's it built on? Where's the built this reality built on? That's what I'm saying. What's the pillar? What's the foundation of this reality? The fact that those people over there that's in the Middle East called Jews, right? That you say are the true seed of Abraham. What if they're not? What if they're not? Like the stock market come crash down on your $2 million overnight. What if you find out overnight that they're not? Ask yourself that question. What if you find out overnight, definitively, no doubt whatsoever? Because the whole thing is that it says that once they return, they will not be removed. God will keep them there forever. They will own control that land, and they'll be set, and they'll be set as a kingdom that's going to last forever. That's it told. That's what we're told. That they cannot be moved. They cannot destroy Israel. That's what we're told. And so we're saying that's them over there. That means any war they have with Arabs, they're going to win. If there's a big war over there, come out, boom, they're going to win. Because Arabs are the wicked ones, they're the righteous ones, and they're Arabs, the Muslims over there standing in their way, that means evil people. And that's what you think. You think the Muslims are bad. I don't mean no Muslim, because you think they're bad, because that's why you've been taught that, because you identify and you pray and you love and you sacrifice and everything, because you want false Israel to work. You believe in it. You pray for it. Pray for the peace of Israel. But what if that's not true? Say to see the whole world. What if it's not true? What if they don't last forever? What if something happens, they suddenly destroy? Suddenly. Because that can't happen. Remember, that cannot happen. In your mind, that cannot happen. Because you've been told that can happen. Because if they choose to Abraham, that cannot happen. But what if it does happen? What happens to the reality then? What happens to the reality? What happens to your reality then? See? Because if they're not, the next question is, who is? If they're not, who is? Remember, this, if it happens suddenly, if they go down the ground suddenly, they said, I saw Satan, he fell from heaven like a lightning bolt. But if they really, because remember, Jesus said they were Satan. Jesus said they wasn't Israel. That's the Jesus you say you believe in. He said they wasn't. He said they're Satan. And he said Satan would go down as a lightning bolt. Crap. He saw Satan fall from heaven as a lightning bolt. See, there, you understand heaven. Heaven means the Middle East. So they fall out there like a lightning bolt. But Jesus said, because you don't accept that, but it says right there, he said it. And that's what said, the stars said he got to kill him. Because he said, no, you're not the seed of Abraham. He said, you're not the seed of Abraham. He was talking to them. You're not the seed of Abraham. He said, your father's the devil. He said he was Satan. He says, and you do his works. That's what Jesus said, and that's when we're going to kill him. But you ignore that part. But what if that's true? What if what Jesus says is true? But I'm just saying, read it. Because he said no. Because another thing, because he said, no truth should make you free. So what you talking about free? We ain't never been slaves to anybody. Remember, slavery had to precede, 400 years of slavery had to precede their return. No 400 years of slavery precede that return. They wasn't enslaved once just before they returned. They hadn't been. And they said it right there, Jesus, we never enslaved anybody. But yet still, you still say it's seed Abraham, but you can't prove they were enslaved. And you said, well, they were enslaved 1,000 years ago. Well, no, the promise is they came out of slavery into the promised land. So unless you say they had a 4,000 year delay somehow. So that's what Jesus said. So that means if they are Satan, he says they're going to, I saw Satan, fall out of heaven, right? And heaven is, because that's where all the prophets, everything came from. But if you saw him fall like a lightning bolt, that means he'll fast. So if that happens, that means they're really Satan. Because you say that can't happen. So if it does happen, that means your whole reality comes crashing down overnight. Total darkness. Because now you have no frame of reference. You're confused. Because if they're not, who is? If they're not, who is? That's the question. See? If they're not, who is? And that will be the question. Everybody be on everybody's mind, right? because everybody's gonna try to regain their mind because their mind just got crashed. So everybody's gonna try to remain their mentality, maintain their mind. See, they'll try to regroup, regain their sanity, because that event will drive people insane. Because everybody, especially all Christians, their whole reality is based on that. They all focus on that because that's supposed to be a sign of turning Jesus. Everything based because that's the sign. I mean, and if that fails, that means all these preachers got to explain how can that fail. How can that fail? That cannot fail. I mean, they went down. How can that happen? Everybody's got to explain. How is going to explain that when that's what they've been telling you for since 1948? So if it crashes, that means overnight everybody's mind is going to crash. That means instantaneously. So the thing is, right away, who is the true seed of Abraham? Because remember, we're nothing over here. All of a sudden, we are the true seed of Abraham. We got 40 years behind us, right? We're in a strange foreign land. Elijah Muhammad came and was telling you that for 40 something years. You see? And those people over here are dark people. So we're returning back to dark people. So if that, and if we the true seed of Abraham, everything gets turned upside down. Because while America was good people, and the false Israel over there calls the Jew, they was good people, and the Muslims was evil people. Now everything gets the whole right gets switched. See, everything gets turned upside down because now the evil people and the Muslims, they're better people. They're not the terrorists because false Israel are terrorists because they're taking these people's land, terrorizing these people. Suddenly, right? But they're gone. See, they're gone. They've been taken down. So nobody's going to mourn for them anymore because they found they deserve what they got. Because they was terrorists, they was liars. They were pretending to be somebody they wasn't. So the world's not going to mourn for them. But that means America's an evil place because they've been spending 400 years oppressing God's people, the true seed Abraham. That means they're not the spiritual seed Israel like they was trying to say. That means they ripped this land from these people. They're evil, wicked, genocidal maniacs. They took people's land all over the world. They're racist, evil. That means they're under judgment. That means this COVID-19 thing, that means that was part of judgment because it says 1619 to 2019 before the year enslavement, and then 2020, right, will be a plague that will kill the firstborn. That's exactly what happened. This COVID killed, that means firstborn is elderly. Exactly what happened. So that means all other things they're talking about is going to happen. So what is that going to do? I mean, remember, this is instantly, because when it goes down instantly, that means something's going to happen once it goes down because some event going to happen. But it's because when that goes down, right, everybody's mind's turned upside down. And then they got a whole new reality they got to face. And how do they deal with that reality? Can they deal with it? Because that reality just says how they're evil and wicked and everything. And we're true seed of Abraham. And that means their population, right, who they've been telling lies to and telling them they're good people, and they go into heaven, and everybody dies. All of a sudden, they can't tell a lie anymore. And the government will not allow their people to think that they're evil, that they're under judgment, they're being destroyed. That'd be a national emergency greater than 911, a national emergency, because all the people, remember, they sent home and comfortable that they're good people, that they was nice to us by letting us out of slavery, right? And that they supporting false Israel. I mean, man, they doing everything they can to support them because they want to be blessed, right? And all that kind of stuff. And this land really belongs to them because, they spiritual Israel. So they've been sitting back thinking, oh man, loving themselves, patting themselves on the back and everything. And all of a sudden, the stock market crashes. That's the knowledge I gave. Oh, is that reality crashes overnight? Because That can't happen. That's the whole reality is based on the fact that false Israel is a true seed of Abraham. So when it ain't, that means the whole people crash. That means you got all the evangelicals that support that 1%. Oh, that's what tell everybody. Don't worry, that cannot happen. Don't worry about it. When they go on the war with it, man, Israel going to win because nobody can move Israel because they all of a sudden that's what they teaching. I mean, that's if you go to church, that's what you're getting. So all of a sudden that's gone. And then you're faced with, we must be a true seed of Abraham. We got the credentials, we got the history, everything. And if we are, they're wicked. They're not home sitting there, nice little angel stuff no more. They're wicked devils, evil, beyond imagination, and they're under a curse, and God's punishing them. Is that the mindset? Look at that. They get upset about critical race theory. What happens when it's evident before their eyes, right? And it's clear, and it's fundamental, right? And it's crystal clear, and they can't get away from it. What happens when that happens? Are they going to sit and accept that? Is the government going to allow that? Because they're already fighting against this so-called critical race. They upset with that one. But what happens when it comes confront them face to face? See, when they can't avoid it, because here we are, we're sitting here, and we're true to Abraham. The only way they can get their mentality back, right? See, because this is we're a state of national mercy now. You got a whole reality. It's greater than 911. Your whole reality check, whole reality hernia, whole reality collapse. So how do you resolve that? Because this country would be totally in chaos if all the people in here realize they're evil people that God's against. They ain't no devils. I mean, they're not angels. They're devils. They're wicked. Because they pat themselves on the back saying they're good. What happens when that happens? When that comes clear, that's not the case. That they're wicked, devils, no good. I mean, genocidal maniacs, God's going to destroy. They're hell bound. He's going to put them in hell. He's going to destroy them. The government won't allow that. The government will not allow that. No government will allow that. They have their people think like that because they know it'll be chaos. They want the people to think they're good people. They want to protect people's minds. That's probably what government does. You better understand that. So the only way they can do that, they got to act quickly. Quickly. That's why I say this thing will happen fast. They got to get rid of us immediately. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. They got to totally eradicate us. Eradicate all of us. Eradicate. They have to. That's what it's telling you right there. That's why you say, when you see desolation, that means when false Israel goes down and you recognize it, that means you got to move fast because they're going to eradicate you immediately. 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 That's what it's telling you. And the scriptures tell you, you will not reunite until the four winds blow. You don't understand what that is. See? But when they will attack all black people. They don't care whether they Christians, Muslim, immigrants. And when you understand Angel, we got a lot of immigrants here from Africa. See? And so we know Africa is united. The Africans are more united than we are. See? And there's millions of them here. See? And that's why it says, run immediately, because what's happening is that the only buffer you got is they're going to attack. But the first line of defense will be those Africans, because they're going to fight because they're united. They may be different countries, but as Africans, they're united. They're not like us. We're all divided. At least they have their country. They have a sense of self. They have a sense of unity that we don't. And so they're going to attack them too. They attack anything that's black. See? And they're going to run into them. That's what the government's going to run into them. They come after us. They're going to run them first. And that gives us time enough to unite. See? But see, during this time, that's going to be a time of intense trouble. And that means you're going to have to know what to do. That's it. You're going to have to know what to do. Say, run to the mountains. You have to know what that means. Why run to the mountains? See, that's angel language that you don't know. But before you run any place, you got to have a light. And that's what we're doing. That's what beacons are. That's what we're setting up angels of the message of the cut all over the place, all over the country, right? And we're getting rid of demons with false lights and anyone else that's against this light, that's blocking it and casting shadows. Because when you cast a shadow, you put in darkness. Anything that's behind that shadow, behind you, right? See? And you're the one blocking the light, then you got people, you got people walking in shadows and darkness. So we got to get rid of all that. Because when that happens, right, you're going to need to know what to do immediately. And that's what we're doing. We're not trying to unite you here, but we know you're not going to unite until the four winds blow, until you're not going to unite until the abomination of desolation. Because first of all, you'll know who you are, and you will know who you are. Because once they're gone, you come to realization that's you. It will be clear. They don't want you to know that either. First of all, that's why they got rid of you immediately, because they don't want you to know. That's what they're trying to do, everything again to stop you from realizing who you are. Doing everything they can to stop you realize what you are. They've been lying. When Martin Luther King, right, when he was Elijah Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad informed him, he realized, right, he went and told you the promised land speech, what he told him not to do. They tell the preachers don't do that no more. The preachers don't used to do that. They did it a while, over 100 some years ago. But now they took that vision from you. So now they tell you don't teach that. Because remember, that's not us. But when Martin Luther King went and gave a speech, they killed him the next day, didn't they? He was dead the next day. So there's two things happening. That you're going to realize who you are. It says you're not returned to have a thorough knowledge yourself. So you realize exactly who you are at that time. Because it wasn't them, it got to be you. That's going to cause your unity right there. You see? That's going to cause unity right there. So in other words, now you got a new vision. Their vision has been destroyed. Now they got to adopt a new vision in order to save themselves. New mentality. Which that means they have to get rid of you so they can keep on thinking that they spiritual Israel. Because they cannot allow them to think that they evil devils and whatever. That's why I got Farrakhan stopped using the word devil. He's worked with them. He's a demon. So, because they've been doing it since 1948, even before that, right? But Elijah Muhammad came in and announced, right, proclaimed that we're choosing Abraham. So they had to set up a false Israel, you understand, to counter that in 1948. That's what they had to do. So now, when that fails, because they're doing everything, that's why they go all in and make sure it never fails. When it fails, that's the abomination of desolation, because it's a two-phase thing. One's desolation, destruction. One's abomination, means something that can't be, that's impossible. Something, something that just can't happen. And that's what happened. That's the abomination. That just can't happen. It's abomination. Abomination to them because, right, that's God's holy people. And now they're being, right, destroyed. So when that happens, immediately, right, you're going to realize if they're not, you are. That's dangerous to them because they can't have it. That's unity. Plus, they're going to realize you are. That means they can have their people, right, living under that idea that they're evil, wicked people. They got to get rid of you immediately, all of you, all of us. That's what it's talking about. So now we got to have beacons all over the place because it's going to be totally darkness at that point, and you're going to have to know what to do. And if we got these demons, these liars like fire coming around, right, that means you're going to crash into something because their beacons are false beacons. Because you're going to know exactly. That's why I have to purge these people. That's why I said the first thing I do is get rid of the demons. Because you're going to have a lot of false lights trying to get out here and say, no, come here, come here, come here. See? So no, we're going to have clear, bright lights. So you know exactly what to do. Because that's what it's going to be. It's going to be just that bad. It'll be just that traumatic. Just that serious. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. That's what you're faced with. Let's talk about a couple other things and we move on. You have to understand, brothers and sisters, this thing's not going to happen by itself. Once we get the vision, then you act on the vision. Now we have enough energy to bring that vision into focus. We've had that vision 50,000 years, it's taken away from us, but we didn't have enough energy to act on that vision. Now we do. Now we have enough energy to bring that energy, that vision into reality, the being it is. See, first it had to be to bring forth the is. And so we give form to the universe. It doesn't happen by itself. We give form to it. Energy is just formless. We give form to it. See, we do that. We gave form stars, constellations, planets. They don't want you to know that. 35,000 years ago, the first step, the first religion was the whole idea was separate the creator from the creation. To disarm us, take away mathematical thinking, analytical, critical, and analytical thinking. See, because you think mathematically, because how they rule the world today, mathematics. They're using the religion to disarm you, so they continue ruling you. Because mathematics, everything you see around you is mathematics. Show me one thing that's not. Even you, DNA. This is what they had. We had no form. They took it away from us. Took it all away from us. We had no form. Who's work doing? Who's producing Master's vision? Master's vision. That's what was producing. Master's vision, not ours. Then Master Prophet Muhammad came along and reinstalled that vision, Abrahamic covenant. And Elijah Muhammad spent 40-some years cultivating that vision, preparing us to fill that vision, teaching how to have a nation, how to, he's supposed to get form. Suleiman's supposed to get spirit, to get a form, how to build a nation, right? How to run it, right? How to work together, right? He's building factories and stores and farm, all that kind of stuff. Show us the mechanics of it, the basics. He did. And then what? Lion Farrakhan came along and got rid of all that. See? No economics. Hey, he's a self-improvement. See? And the Sunnis, right? See? They have our land, so they're on board with that. Take away that vision. See? Farrakhan came and snatched that vision away that Elijah Muhammad gave. He said, we're not going anywhere. So we don't need all this stuff. That was Wallace was saying too. We don't need all this stuff because Master got it. That's what Wallace said. We don't need all this stuff. Master got it. That's Farrakhan said that. We don't know it. We don't need anything. But yet he kept asking for money for years and years and years, 40-some years. Economic program, no economics. It's just for him. See? So, and we got false Israel. They don't want us to have vision either because that vision says that they're nothing. Because they stole our vision. They pretend to be us. See, they're desperate to take that. So these all working together. That's what said. Son of perdition, he was at the work to Satan. They all working together. That's why he's telling you, Farrakhan's pushing Sunnism on you. They're all working together. He claims, oh, I'm against the Jews and everything. They're all working together. See, that's just a cover. Like you're not just moving to see the person that's undercover. He always got to find a way to impress them. He's really with them, right? So he's got to be more Pope than the Pope. He got to be more guided than the guide. He got to be more Capone than Capone. But he's really an agent. See? And so now, as a result of Farrakhan snatching away the vision Elijah gave us, that left us in the furnace, back in the furnace. And Suleiman's in here trying to get you out of the furnace, trying to give you the wisdom to get out of the furnace, right? But with Farrakhan, see, he's giving you religion. You say, oh, he's yes. Have you checked out a Scientology yet? Don't you understand? It's just upgraded modern version of Catholicism. Have you seen that symbol? What's the primary thing of Catholicism? The confessional. Which thing order thing is? Just upgrade. And then you got Sunnism. And that's what fueling the fire of this furnace. Because that's what keeping your mind in flames. I'm trying to get your mind in the angel, mathematics, critical thinking. This is the biblical reality, the Quranic reality that we're supposed to be going to. See, that's the reality supposed to bring. They're trying to destroy it. because this whole reality, this biological reality against them. See, they stripped out women of their clothes, make them naked, like they are, because they're beasts. So they try to strip out women naked. Somehow women fall for it, right? This is the biological reality we're trying to reinstate. See, that they're quick, they're daily destroying because they're at war with it. I'm not talking about a lot today, right? So here we go, right here. They got the two visions. The vision on the right is the vision they're trying to get to. They're working fast trying to get that vision. Mechanical electronic vision. That's the vision they're trying to achieve. They're working fast at it. They're trying to get to it before we can achieve our vision. Because both visions cannot coexist. And so they're trying to keep you asleep long enough they can achieve this. Once they achieve this, they blow away the biological. You don't see any biological here. They blow it away with their nuclear weapons, everything else, because they don't need this reality can survive, right? Earth has been destroyed, the surface of the earth. This one can't. See? So here's one of the lies they tell you to convince you to go along with this BS, right? What it says, what led to the outbreak of the bloodiest conflict in the history of America? A common explanation is that the Civil War was fought over the moral issue of slavery. In fact, it was economics of slavery and political control, that system that was central to the conflict. A key issue was slave rights. So they keep telling you they fought over slavery. They did not fight to free you. That was not the reason. They keep telling you this, and all you got to do is read it. But they keep putting it out there because that's a way to make you think they're good people, right? They was doing us a favor. And these people telling you, if you go study it, if you read a little bit, you find that's not true. It's a lie. They weren't trying to free you. It was a conflict. They was fighting over because they didn't want to compete against slave labor. Listen to them.
What led to the outbreak of the bloodiest conflict in the history of North America? A common explanation is that the Civil War was fought over the moral issue of slavery. In fact, it was the economics of slavery and political control of that system that was central to the conflict. A key issue was states' rights. The Southern states wanted to assert their authority over the federal government so they could abolish federal laws they didn't support. Another factor was territorial expansion. The South wished to take slavery into the Western territories, while the North was committed to keeping them open to white labor alone.
White labor.
Meanwhile, the newly formed Republican Party,
economics,
whose members were strongly opposed to the westward expansion of slavery into new states, was gaining prominence. The election of a Republican, Abraham Lincoln, as president in 1860 sealed the deal. His victory, without a single Southern electoral vote, was a clear signal to the Southern states they had lost all influence. Feeling excluded from the political system, they turned to the only alternative they believed was left to them: secession, a political decision that led directly to war. To find out more, log on to History Detectives on the web at pbs.org.
See, that's a big lie, and most black folks buy that. Oh, they did to free slaves. It was not. It was an economic situation because what happened is the slave master was training the slaves to work because they went to an industrial revolution. There was an agricultural revolution. That's what brought slavery, because it was all agricultural. So they needed agricultural workers. So they had to pick cotton and everything else. Then the industrial revolution, they had factory things, right? It was a different whole type of environment. So slave master was taking and training his slaves to do the jobs in the factories, and so he was sending them up there, outsourcing them out there to do the job and undercutting the wages of the white folks. So if they was paying $10 an hour, he was sending slaves to pay $7 an hour, $5 an hour, because the slave wasn't getting the money; he was getting back to master, and that's why white folks got mad at it. They said we can't compete with that, so they wanted to stop it. In fact, constitutionally, the South was right because the states' rights, so they could do whatever they want to do. So in fact, you keep on this Constitution, but back, right, that Civil War, it was the South that was in the right. as far as the Constitution is concerned. See, that Constitution is a bunch of BS. The Bible says it's like a wood wall of bricks with no mortar in them. See, anybody knows about bricklaying, you can put it up almost like glue. They make this brick stick together. When it dries, keep them together. But if you build a wall with bricks without that, that means I don't care how big that wall is and how formidable it looks, you can easily push it over because it's not holding together. And they say that's what America's like, this Constitution and everything. It says it's a wall of bricks without mortar. It looks affordable, but you can push it over. So you think that's protecting you going back to slavery when it tells you right in there? It tells you right in there. First of all, it still says 3/5 of the humans. How come the Democrats don't get rid of that? Plus, it also tells you, right, that you're only conditionally out of slavery. Otherwise, if you break laws, you can be put right back in slavery. What do you think prisons are? You can be right back. That's what it says right in there. So you think that's going to save you? And you think white folks going to save you? They already showed you they aren't. And see, this is demon vision. I call it a transition vision because it's a transition between, that's one on the left, because they give me the idea, oh, we everything, we going to be together. Want people together because they want to deceive you to keep thinking that way until they can get this one on the bottom right. See? Because this vision right here, the Bible and the Quran both tell you that's all good birth. So all their works we burn up. But they're trying to get you to convince you that that's a great vision. You're going to be part of all this and everything else. When the Bible clearly tells you all their work's going to be burned up, all this is going to be burned up. The vision in the Bible and the Quran is a garden. The garden's wide as heaven and earth, not this. So all this stuff that Quran says, it ain't made it goodly manifest. This environment, this technology is destroying this biological world. It's destroying our biological world. This world they come in is destroying. They're telling you right now, global warming, climate, control, all that kind of stuff, right? They're telling you the two cannot exist. If they go that way, they're going to totally destroy the environment. They're not doing anything about it. They say, "Oh well, it's going to be destroyed the environment," but they ain't doing anything about it. Oh, well, we got to vote. If they thought it was really, they wouldn't be voting. They would do something about it. They want it to happen, but they're trying to tell you, oh well, only reason we ain't do anything about it is they're trying to stall for time because they want to vote for it. Really? If your house on fire, right? You're going to vote whether you should get out or not. If they didn't want that, they wouldn't be. Just like a president, he don't have to vote to go to war. If he's attacked, he just says we're going to war. He got the power to do that. So this would be even greater conflict than that. So he can just say, hey, boom. If they really thought we're going to stop this, but he ain't going to do it because that's the reality they're going to. That reality is destroying our reality, biological reality. And this is a transition right here. Okay, we're gonna be part of them. We're gonna blend in. That's to psych you out. They buy into this until they buy them time, right? Because they don't want us to have. If we get the vision, that top right here, that means we're breaking into existence. First, you have to have a vision because we have the energy to bring in but we have the energy right now to bring to existence. We still have the vision because right now we have the vision to bring their reality. We're helping them bring their reality into existence. That's what we're trying to give you your reality, because once you get your reality, you bring this. Because first you have to have the be to get the is. So you have to have the vision. That's it. Our people that have vision are large. So Suleiman's job to give you to restore that vision that Pharaoh kind of snatched away from you. Because once you get the vision of the promised land, then you achieve it because now you have the energy to do it. You have the energy to do it, you just don't have the vision to do it. See, so we got to reinstall the vision because they got you the vision they give you, right? Is this vision here? Oh, you're going to make it more demons. Because demons, their seed. That's what demons, their seed. The chaff that sowed them under wheat. And the demons, they're pushing this, they think just like their fathers do. They're pushing this vision down your chest. They're pushing on you. The politicians, right? The preachers, right? The professors, right? The entertainers, they're all demons. Because they're in master's house. They wouldn't be there if they weren't demons.
Back in Alabama, Mrs. Angie Carter took me when I was bad for creeping days living in the big house with the white folks. And they was always good to me because I was one of their blood. They never had me have a lick or slap me once. And they told me that they would never sell me from them. My brother and sister, they lived with the niggas though, because they was mostly niggas. My master used to give me a little money to buy what I wanted. I always bought fine clothes. Oh, when they bought the red shoes from the town, I cried and cried. I said, I don't want to wear no rawhide shoes.
Demon.
So they took us back. I guess they were weeping for my crying.
Demon. See how you
I
think?
drove a Cadillac. With the white book. And I was about the most dudish nigga in these cars.
Your role models.
Once, two youngsters goes down the river to the doghouse where Master Kilpatrick's children are playing. They don't go in the doghouse. And one of Kilpatrick boys says, that's for my children. They said, but we ain't niggas because we got the same daddy you raised. And he comes to see us every day and fetches us clothes and things from town. But it's fussy. And Mrs. Kilpatrick is listening out of the chamber window. She heard the white man say, he is our daddy. And we call him daddy when he comes to our house to see our mom.
Demons. See? They think
Many
like that,
owners
like
and
daddy.
overseers believed that sexual access to slave women was one of their prerogatives. The rape of black women also served to humiliate their husbands and undermine the integrity of slave families. No child, that was common. Masters and overseers used to make slaves that was with their husbands get up, do as they say. Send husbands out on the farm, milking cows or cutting wood. Then he gets in bed with the slave himself. Some winners would fight and tussle, others would be hung, fear and beaten. And they told their husband he was powerless. I was one slave that the poor white man had his match. These here old white men said, what I can't do by fair means, I'll do by foul. One tried to throw me, but he couldn't. We tussled and knocked over chairs, and when I got a grip, I snatched his face all to pieces, and there was no more bothering Fanny from him. But oh, honey, some slaves would be so beat up when they resisted. Sometimes, if you rebel, they'll receive care. Us colored women had to go through
Kill
care.
them.
My mother's mistress had three boys, one 21, one 19, and one 17. The mistress had gone away one day, and mother always worked in the house. While she was alone, the boys came in and threw her down on the floor and tied her down so she couldn't struggle. And one after the other used her as long as they wanted from the whole afternoon. Mother was sick when her mistress came home, and when her mistress wanted to know what's the matter with her, she told her what the boys had done. And she went on. And that's where I came to be here.
See, that's how demons, that's how you produced them. Now it was rape, produced demons, but now they seduced them. Now these black men just willingly produce demons for them. Like they have no history, no understanding. Sad. We're in bad shape, brothers and sisters. And then the chief demon, Legion, Louis Eugene Grounds, NY backwards. See? So that's the vision he's leading us to. He says, we're going to stay here. Yet still Elijah Muhammad said, America's burned down. It says, right there, fall of America, whole country is burning. But he said, we're going to stay here. So that means Elijah Muhammad lied, because if it is, then what we're going to burn up too. He's selling you a vision. The whole Bible and the Quran says this is going to be burnt down, but he's selling you that vision. So why is he selling you that vision when it leads to destruction? See, because he's a demon. He's read Mark, right? He didn't want to leave. He didn't want to go out. So don't make me leave the country. He wants to stay with his devil daddies, his wine daddies. And that's the vision he leads you to. We're going to stay here. We love America. We built America. We got the tape saying it. We built it. It belongs to us. How is that? I mean, if they stole it, how does it belong to you? Because if the Native Americans come and say we want our land back after you get it from them, what you going to tell them? So you claim you down for them. So if they come and say, okay, you got the land, you want our land back, what you going to tell them? See, none of this stuff makes any sense when you think about it. That's why I use critical analytics here. Because if you get the 6 states or whatever you tell me you want here, right? Remember, they stole it. So now you taking stolen property. So when a natural owner shows up, what you gonna tell them? Go take a hike? Go F themselves? Because now you claim you righteous, you the one, you the anointed, and you do righteous things, right? You don't support wicked stuff. So when the original owner comes for it, you're gonna tell them to go take a hike? Because remember, if you take these things, you're taking stolen property. So if the natural owner comes, what you gonna do? That means if you don't give it back to them, that means you accessory after the fact. So it means you're as guilty as prison that took to begin with. So you can all them devils, you're a devil yourself. It's easy to think this thing too, brothers and sisters. See? So that's what he's leading you to, right? So all this gonna burn up. But that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to, and it also gives them time to perfect this thing over right here, their mechanical, electronic world. Because he's not preaching this paradise. We'll stay here. Okay, brothers and sisters, hope you understand. We're going to leave it there. So that's what we're doing here. It was called action. See, we're trying to get you to understand Abrahamic covenant, get you on board with that. Nobody wants anything from you. We don't want your money. We don't want anything from you. We're trying to get you that vision, and so you could take and be a beacon, because it's going to dark very fast. They're coming at you, because once false Israel is destroyed, they're going to have to immediately, they're going to come to the decision immediately, they got to destroy us in order to maintain their sanity, maintain their civilization, right? To maintain civil order. They have to get rid of us immediately. That's why it says, when it says you got to run, as soon as it happened, but first you got to be able to identify it. So we just identified it for you. So you run immediately. And we understand how four winds work and everything, right? They're our first side of defense while we can put ourselves together. And then that's when we're going to separate out. But you need those beacons to know where to go to. You need those beacons to know where to go to. So this is a call to action, brothers and sisters. You want to be a beacon, a messenger of the covenant? Then contact us. See? Because we're trying to set as many beacons as possible, because it's going to be very intensely dark. Because we got people all over this country. It's going to be very, very dark in a minute when they attack. We need to know what to do. See, so we can save as many as we can. Because there's a lot of people are going to be lost. There's a lot of us lost because of lack of knowledge. That's what we're about, brothers and sisters. That's the beacon. See, remember, when false Israel, you say it can't happen. So you already telling me it can't happen, right? That's what you're telling me. Oh man, you don't know what you're talking about, right? So when it does happen, brothers and sisters, you better hope there's a beacon near you. Because they already tell you, because you already said it can't happen. So if you say it can happen, it does happen, then what is it going to do to you? What is it to your frame of mind? What's it going to do to your reality? What is it going to do? Think about it. Assalamu alaikum.